hopefully that will start getting people more interested in looking at green features. So we'll take questions and answers afterward too, so if you have any more, let me know. But I think Glenn is next.
You told me to put the microphone on.
There you go.
Great. Thank you.
Sorry, Tim, we'll get it all fixed.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
My name is Glenn Castor. I'm Director of Marketing and Business Development at Seaport Credit Union right up the road. Before we get started though, Patty Tarr, Patty, can you raise your hand? Patty is also from Seaport. She can also at the end answer any questions at all. I'm going to just spend a few minutes just talking more of a high level about mortgages, home equities, and how either yourselves, your customers will pay for some of these upgrades. When I first met everybody here, we at Seaport started to do some research about the real special mortgages that will help new buyers or people who are refinancing do a special program about energy efficiency. The more we looked into this, and from the federal point of view, the more difficult it actually is for any financial institution to really get involved. It's especially so because rates are so low at this point in the game. So when we have someone come into our office and they want to become a member and they're looking for a loan, we say to them, first off, if you can even get into a new house, which is, don't kid yourselves, it's the biggest problem right now. People who are refinancing, no one has equity. First-time home buyers, it's tough credit-wise out there. So if you have a buyer and then they do want to add energy-efficient windows, do a home energy audit, put in a new central air system, what we tell a lot of these folks to do, if you can afford it, take it the first time you're getting your new loan. So if your mortgage is $150,000, I know that's a kind of a pipe dream, but if your mortgage is, if it's $200,000 and you want to do $30,000 worth of energy efficiencies, do it right from the beginning. Don't say to yourself, well, I'm going to refinance later. Because while you're taking the money, do it the first time. And for us, again, we're right down the street, we're local, we've been in business for 80 years, and you'll hear a lot of banks and credit unions say, well, we're green, this green and that green. I have some news for you. No, that's just not the case whatsoever. What we do for our membership and for our customers is to help them with their lending needs. So we're going too far. All right. There. So one of the things we decided to do, and again, it's not so much energy efficiency, but it's part and parcel of just where we are rate-wise. So we have a home equity special, 2.5% for the first 12 months. It's 3/4 below prime, 2.5%. If you look at a year ago or 2 years ago, you might have been looking at 5, 4, sometimes 6% on home equity. So when many people come into our office and they're looking to do new windows, and they need more. We were talking earlier through MassSave, they have a program called the Heat Loan Program. It's called the Heat Loan Program, and there are some lenders that are approved there, and you can borrow up to $15,000 with a 7-year payback at 0%. So that's a pretty good deal. Now we're not an approved lender at all with that, but that's a pretty good deal. But with the home equities, what we tell all our members is your cost of funds to borrow, to put in energy efficient windows, to put in doors, to put in a new HVAC system, it's pretty low. You kind of ask yourself, how low is this actually going to go? And I sit actually in our office next to our CEO. I ask him that every day. How low are these rates actually going to go? Because you have to think, at 2.5%, there's not much bottom room there. Yet, you hear in the papers every day, there's a big to-do the last week or so about, the new home sales was down dramatically. Well, of course, because you had people who were closing, getting their Obama money for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. So, sorry, I'm not the brightest bulb in the bunch, but if all these people are closing in 1 month, you're going to have a drop. Sorry, I wish they paid me what some of the analysts are getting paid. But what we tell anyone who's coming in, if you already have a mortgage and you're looking to save some money in your home, because as people were saying, you certainly can cut down 50, 60% on your energy bills. If you have the equity, which is always a question, home equity is the way to go. It's the cheapest money there is right now. And that's not only with us at Seaport. That's at a lot of banks. I see my friend there from Citizens Bank. Every bank, credit union will have a pretty good home equity special. because A, it's good for us, the institution, don't kid yourself, we are in the business of making money, okay? But it's also good for the consumer on the home equity side. So, I mean, I wish I could sit here and say to you that we've gone through all the hoops with the federal government to do these energy efficient loans. It's not worth it for us. When I did a search, I found two. I found one loan out of Bank of America in North Carolina. And then we found something from Wells Fargo that they were contemplating doing a special program. But where am I going to put the money? The rates are low. They're not going high for a little while. So to even call it, we even talked about it in a meeting, maybe we should just call the special program a home energy audit or a home energy program. You know what? That's just kind of playing with the numbers. And we, at least at Seaport, being a credit union, we just don't do that. So the bottom line, if you're a realtor and you're talking to your customers and they're looking to buy a house, if you're in the repair and renovation business, tell them, whatever bank you go to, whatever credit union you go to, just ask them what their rates are. And rates are pretty low. Did I go the wrong one? That's okay. Another thing too, we talked about home equities. Mortgage rates continue to plummet. I mean, people say, well, yes, they're at all-time lows. You know what? They're right. All I have to do is do a little searching. So for us, we again dropped our rates this past week. So if you have, or a friend or yourselves, if you can deal with a 10-year loan, 3.5%. And that's with a point. You don't want a point, 4%. Those are low, guys. They're not. That's low. There's not a whole lot of room. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room to have a special program. 15-year, it's at 3.875 with one, just unheard of in the market. And right now, for us, like a lot of institutions, we don't do many 30 years. We don't make a whole lot of money because eventually these rates are going to come up. They have to. It may be 2, 3, 4 years. Who knows what will happen? But even us in the credit union worlds now, we're working on a new 30-year program because there are still some people out there, and they're usually borrowing less than they used to borrow. So kind of back to this whole thing. Energy efficiency is really important. It absolutely is. We can certainly help if you have a customer who, again, they want to borrow $200,000, they want to put in the new windows, the new AC, et cetera, for another 25 to 30K. We can, if the equity is there, if their credit is there, we'll always tell them, you know what? Get a bigger loan. It's worthwhile. Do everything the day before you move in. Don't move in and then do it. Do it beforehand. We will continue to always look to add the specialty programs that we offer, the EEM, the EIM programs. But right now, I think as we were talking earlier, the federal government and the state, they haven't really caught up to as fast as a lot of these green initiatives are happening to make it easier, like for us banks and credit unions to jump on board. Because for anybody to do that, we still have to make money on the deal. It's just the part and parcel of being in the financial world. So when you go to some of these websites, and especially the interesting was when I did a little research on the Fed side, it was literally 20 pages of single space of what we as a financial institution had to do to be approved to be part of this program. And at the end of the day, my home equity line is going to be cheaper than if I go to their program. Because then I have fees I have to pay with them. And then there's certain restrictions that we don't want to get involved with. So tell your clients, tell yourself, for yourselves, look around, be it Seaport, if it's us, be it my friends there at Citizens, be it wherever it is. Have your customers, yourselves, do your homework. And at the end of the day, go with the financial institution that you feel is going to help either yourselves or your customers. So, again, we are there to help. One more thing before I get done. One of the things that JOEGREEN has, and I love this, it's the 3 phases of going green: repair, reduce, renew. Well, if you want to repair, which will lead you to reduce, most people are going to need a loan, because most people don't have the $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, even $10,000 just to throw into a project. And that's where